We know how spiritual science and meditation can do wonders to students. This is especially new to me, and I'm very sure many of you would like to know about how meditation can help students learn better. We have with us Dr. Newton Kondaveti, I hope it's correct, an expert in spiritual science and founder of Life Research Academy and Life University. We also have Dr. Lakshmi GV, founder of Angels of the Earth, an organization dedicated to caring for animals. She's also the co-founder of Life Research Academy and Life University. Together, they have traveled 100 countries, spreading this spiritual science and meditation, and we are very lucky to have them here today. Thank you so much. And I'm very sure many of us, at least I'm the first one, I've already invited them to Kolkata. So I know you all are very busy, and many of us would like to have you in our school, in our midst, with teachers, with students, helping us out. Thank you so much. Over to Dr. Newton.
Welcome, friends, to this topic on meditation and spiritual science for all colleges, universities, and for introducing this to all students. And I must begin with my own background, understanding my background, sharing about it. And as a child, I was a failure in school. Many times I failed. I was so fond of sciences, mathematics particularly, but my mathematics teacher one day has slapped me and insulted me in front of all the co-students. From that time, I shut down completely. I never learned mathematics from that time. Still, I have block about mathematics. And the same thing happened with my Hindi teacher. Hindi teacher also humiliated me, public humiliation in the class. And my self-esteem, my self-worth was blown off in that moment. And I never learned Hindi. I don't know how to speak Hindi. I can't converse. As a child, I refused to learn from teachers who always teach in a very logical way. Who uses logical mind, rational mind. And I used to take wisdom, knowledge from teachers who are very heart-oriented, who convey the message to the students through their hearts. So I observed it as a student, as a child, and a part of my experiences in my life was molded at that point of time. It triggered my growth. And how a student faces these challenges and in the world, and how they can actually transform their lives. This is today we are going to speak. And myself, I'm a medical doctor, and but more than medical doctor, I'm very deeply passionate about spirituality, spiritual science, and meditation. So along with my wife, we are going to present. My wife is my great inspiration, my great teacher, who has chopped my ego and who made me to learn so many things. And first I request Dr. Lakshmi to speak, and later I will share about today's topic.
Thank you. Good morning, my dear friends. I welcome you all to this presentation on spiritual science and meditation. It's a great pleasure to be with all of you today. So friends, one day a school teacher, the class teacher, asked his students, what do you want to become when you grow up? So one child answered, I want to be a great doctor. Then the other child said, I want to be a great software engineer. So that's how each child was answering, and one child was just keeping quiet. So then the teacher looked at this child and asked, my dear John, what do you want to become? So then this little boy answered, I want to become happy. So then the teacher said, my dear John, somewhere you didn't understand my question. What do you want to become? So then the little child said, sir, I have understood your question, but you have not understood my answer. So friends, every child, they're so happy from within, and they're just connected to their heart. But somehow, today's education, the way we teach our children, has made them to completely disconnect from their heart. So true education actually teaches us two things. The first thing is, it will teach us how to make a living. And the second thing is, how to live. But the present day education is so much focused on how to make a living. So we are teaching our children how to be logical, how to be the left brain, how to make a living, how to be successful. But somewhere we are missing this important part, how to live your life, how to face the challenges in life, how to really deal with your emotions. So yesterday, Kiranji was just telling about the wolves outside, but there are also wolves inside all of us. So what about those wolves? The wolf called fear, the wolf called not feeling good enough, the wolf called anger. So how to deal with these emotions? How to have the emotional mastery, and how to have good relationships, and how to find about our life's purpose. So nobody taught us about these things, which are so important, friends. So actually spiritual science teaches us about life, about to realize who you truly are, what is your true purpose, and how to find this true happiness within yourself so that you're happy with whatever you have. So the great genius, Albert Einstein, once said, everybody is a genius. Every child is genius. So just don't judge a fish by its ability not able to climb the tree. Otherwise, it will just live all its life thinking that, how stupid I am. So friends, somewhere we all need to understand that every child is so special. Every child is so unique. There is nothing wrong with the child. Somewhere we are not able to understand the child. We are not able to understand the hidden potential in the child. So spiritual science helps us to understand this true uniqueness of the child, to understand about the hidden potential in each and every child. So from the bottom of my heart, I wish that somewhere in the future, the spiritual science becomes the foundation for our education, so that every child can follow their heart and every child can align himself or herself to their true purpose of life. So when children are happy, the society is happy. And when the society is happy, nations are happy. And when nations are happy, the entire world is happy. Thank you, my dear friends.
What is the current scenario in the education field? Our education field is still in the old paradigm, still based on fear. Fear that you need to compete Otherwise, you will be left behind. You beat the other guy, and otherwise you will not survive, you will not exist. And it is driven by fear. And the entire education is all past oriented. So we see how very rarely we find genius in the world. Very rarely. We can count them on fingers. One Rabindranath Tagore, one Mahatma Gandhi, one Albert Einstein, one Leonardo da Vinci. Very few. It's the failure of education system, because our paradigm is based on fear. We are competing. We are making students very violent beings, because we are inculcating in them, indoctrinating them. You have to fear the other beings. You have to compete. You have to come first. And all children, they were given these concepts that you have to receive appreciations, medals, awards, rewards. It's all based on fear and adrenaline. We need constant stimulations outside. We can't be peaceful. We can't live our life. We see around the globe now how much corruption in the so-called very intelligent, very educated beings, human beings in the government offices, highly corrupted. And all the genius scientists, they are working to make missiles to destroy other countries. All the prime ministers, presidents of the countries, they are all engaging in having the nuclear weaponry. They have fear, deep fear. Where is it coming from? How can we change this? It's all connected with our education field. And also it's connected with our families. A parent and a teacher are playing very important roles in the growth of every child. If we want to see the world, a very different, a peaceful world, a genius world where everyone is born genius, but everyone is not really growing up in a very beautiful manner. The genius in a child is dying as seeds. The intelligence of child is corrupted. It's the responsibility of every citizen of the world to look forward now for a new approach to the education field. This we call it as holistic education, a new revolution. We need holism. We need to be very future-oriented education system, not based on the fear, but based on love. We are not teaching our children about love at all. We need to, the basis of entire education system is love, heart's energy, the soul energy. We need soul-based education. So friends, there's so many challenges faced by every student. We see so many deaths of students. High suicidal rate is seen in many teenage students. We are counselors. We counsel a lot of children, a lot of students. They do come to us. They approach us because our field is called regression therapy. We work on the subconscious blocks of people. So we assist them to find out what is blocking their potential. So most of the times we find they're going through the stress in the academics. There's so much pressure on them to achieve. We're making all students human machines. We are programming them. The moment they're born, we are programming that now you're born to become a doctor, engineer, or IAS officer. But a child is saying, I want to become a dancer, musician, or just I want to meditate in Himalayas. We are not encouraging a child for that. Every child is born for their own purpose. It's very important. It's the responsibility of a teacher and a parent to inspire them to pursue their own purpose of their lives. So most of the students are nowadays facing a lot of stress. There's so much of pressure on them to excel, to study, to succeed, and to get all the appreciations, and they can never appreciate themselves. They always feel not good enough, very incompetent, impotent, inadequate, and self-doubt, low confidence levels, low self-esteem, and they don't know how to live life. As Dr. Lakshmi said, they know they can make so much money, but that money is not making them happy. They're making them more miserable. They know love, connection, compassion, kindness in the world at all. We call this as our education system. And it's a failure of the education system. Unless we now really look deeply for solutions, we understand that something else is missing there in our current education system, we can't bring a change. So friends, it's also my experience as a student in the college, in the medical college, how I face many challenges. What we do as students and how much stress we go through. The first 2 years, we learned 3 subjects: biochemistry, anatomy, and physiology. And it was such a stress to remember the Grace anatomy textbook for us, where I have to read 10 times, 20 times. That point of time, I was introduced to meditation path. And I became such very sharp memory power I cultivated. I only used to read only one single time. I used to grasp everything that's written in the textbook. Only one single time I listened to the teacher in the classroom, I remember everything. Everything is stored here. What a powerful meditation can do to all the students to improve their memory power, concentration. They can focus. They become the masters of their mind. So what a benefit that meditation can bring to all the children, all the students. So all colleges, universities, and all the schools, if they incorporate, if they introduce meditation, they know how to deal with the stress. Stress will be there, but they know how to deal with the stress. They know how to activate their own neuronal cells, the untapped potential. So we are only teaching about all the logical skills of the left brain, and we either reject the left brain or we completely reject the right brain. We are both. Children need to be trained in both brains to use the both sides of the cerebral hemispheres. And we need to have the deep intuitive intelligence every student has got, which is untapped by every student. It is remaining dormant. As long as this meditation or this soul science, spiritual science is introduced, it remains like a seed energy. It never becomes a tree. So friends, there's so much research done by scientists around the globe, the neuroscientists. A lot of research was done about, are we these brains or are we beyond the brains? They're trying to understand what is controlling. Are we the consciousness product of this brain, or are we consciousness for programming our brains to function in certain ways? So this was completely explored by many medical scientists around the globe, many spiritual scientists around the globe. They found out that we are basically consciousness. Amazing power we have. And we hardly use 8% of our brain capacity. 8%. The untapped capacities of the brain. Many neuronal cells, cortical cells, cerebral cortex is unused. And our limbic brain, our midbrain is fully indoctrinated with all the old ideas, old misconceptions, old fears. We are carrying so many past fears. And we have some survival fears in us. A true potential is not coming out in a student. Every child is born to contribute to the world something very great, very unique. They have incarnated, they're born here to give their essence, to create something in the world, but it is not happening. It's very important that we need to really wake up and look deep inside us. And all the research is saying, all the brainwave research done by all the brain scientists, how meditation, people, they master their minds, master the brain waves. We become more of alpha people. We know how to deal with the beta burnout syndrome, all the stress collected inside us. We know that we are alpha beings, very peaceful, tranquil beings. When we are composed, very quiet, very silent, we can really act very well. We can give our 100% best efforts in every single moment. But we are not able to do it because we are restless all the time, anxious, fearful, and a lot of self-doubt, no confidence at all. So friends, it's possible for every student to awaken their own mind, illuminate their minds. And meditation and spiritual science is a quantum approach to awaken this untapped potential. This deep potential in us, which can really bring it out, we can bring it out into the world. So first, all teachers also need to meditate. Yesterday, Kiran Sethi was talking about being an example, leading by being a role model. So that's very important. Teachers are not meditating. They're very anxious, very stressful, and they're going to impart the same thing to the other children. They're going to pass on the same fear to the children. We can't inspire the children. It's very important that every teacher, they also learn about the science and art of meditation. And they know about what is spiritual science, spirituality is. So the true assets of a student are really concentration, focus, and then memory power, to really use their memory power. We can actually remember everything that we read. We can really read so fast, so quick. And nowadays we find students very stressed out. They're not able to remember. Though they read the books, when they go to examination hall, they forget everything. The anxiety, stress, they forget everything, nervousness. So friends, it's so important to access the power of subconscious. This is another asset that every student has. The power is lying there in the subconscious mind. Our logical conscious mind is only 1%. The 99% dormant power is there in our subconscious mind. Because we have been assisting through what is called regression therapy. Even we have the capacity to recall past life memories. This mind, subconscious mind, stores not only these current life memories, though we have forgotten, everything is stored here. We remember, we carry all that ancient memories on this earth planet that we lived as different bodies, different time and space sequence. So friends, there is some deep intelligence that's there in all that can be tapped in the power of subconscious mind. And this IQ and EQ and SQ, intelligence quotient that is measured in our academics, in the schools, it's only very small portion of the intelligence of a child. The EQ, emotional intelligence, and spiritual intelligence is much more. Every child is highly intelligent. Our universities are actually corrupting the intelligence of a child. And it's what I see. I don't mind saying it bluntly, this truth. All the schools are actually damaging the children. All the universities, I have never found any university really is, I can say very proudly, this is a great university. I found it long back in ancient India, Takshashila University, Nalanda University. They are champion universities. And now we hardly find this dark age, Kali Yuga, where we find only fear, fear-gripped, competition, destroying others, jealousy. Even we grow into such top genius and successful people, we start our companies, we are competing with other companies. We want to destroy our competitor. We are very jealous. We are almost between two countries also, similar kind of struggles are happening. Have we really evolved? Are we retarded? Are we really gone back? In most of the American universities, they could translate some of the ancient scriptures from India. 5,000 years back, there is something called Viman Shastra, written by Bharadwaja Maharshi. He is a great sage, meditator, a yogi, a rishi, who could access the aeroplane models 5,000 years back. In Ramayana time, there was a story about Pushpaka Viman, which used to travel without fuel, without this kind of petroleum. But it used to travel through something else, energy fuel. Where is that intelligence gone? It's important to wake up now. We need to tap into spiritual intelligence, SQ. So friends, every student needs clarity, clear thinking, competence, not competition, competence. They need to compete with their own self. No need to compete with others. We need to evaluate ourselves from yesterday to today to tomorrow. How much we progress now, that's more important. Every child is unique and genius, without exception. Our academic institutions cannot measure the intelligence of a child. It's a failure. We need to have a different measurement scale to measure the spiritual intelligence of students and children. So confidence and courage. These are the 4 important things for every child. And courage, now we see even the grown-up adults also very cowards. They lack bravery. They have fear of unknown, fear of new knowledge, fear of even venturing into new knowledge, research into new things. In the education field, the research is needed. Innovation is needed. Creativity is needed. It is lacking now. We are very stereotypic, still the same old models we are adopting, the education system. There's nothing new. There's nothing new. And every student has this creative power. They need to know that they are the creators of their own reality. They create their own reality. Every student, every one of us is who need to own our creations. We created poverty, we created misery, we created all things that we are witnessing in our own lives. We can create something new now in our own lives, personally and also collectively. We can co-create. So every child with clear thinking, with courage, confidence, competence, they know what decisions to make, the right decisions. There are many options for them to pursue, but they're confused whether they need to go in a survival mode out of fear. Only making a living is not important, but they need to know the right decision to take is to follow their heart, to follow their passion. We would have missed Sachin Tendulkar if he has come into only academics. He's such a genius in cricket. There's so many intelligences in a child. We need to now wake up and understand.
I want to mention something here, friends. There was a study that was conducted, and 100 people were selected, and they were asked this question: why do you wear a sweater? So 80 of them answered, my mother felt cold. Only 20% of them said, I felt cold and that's why I wore a sweater. So friends, this clearly shows how we are projecting our fears, our own wounds onto our children. So we have to understand that our children only came through us, but not from us. We don't own them. So we just met this person recently who came to us for some help, and this person was so successful in his life. He has lots of money, he is on the top ranks, but somehow he's not happy with himself, with his life, and he feels so empty all the time. So he was just wondering, I have everything, whatever someone used to have if they need to be happy in their life, but how come I'm not happy in my life? So when we guided him, we started helping him, he went back to his childhood, and he found that in his childhood, he had this passion for painting. He liked to paint, so he wanted to be a painter. But the father and the mother said, what will you do with this painting? Are you going to beg when you grow up with this painting? Are you going to sit on the roads and beg for money? So this will not give you anything. So don't try to become a painter and try to become an engineer or a doctor, become successful, earn lots of money so that you'll be happy. So friends, from that day onwards, his passion just fell into a deep, dark valley, and he started becoming like he used to impress his parents. Whenever he is getting very good marks, his parents are becoming very happy and they're appreciating him. So from that moment onwards, he started looking for that appreciation all the time. He was always looking for that acknowledgement. Oh, if I get marks, my parents are happy. So this is how throughout his life he lived to make his parents happy. But when he reached 60 years, he felt that he's so unhappy in his life in spite of earning everything, in spite of reaching to this state. And then he realized that he lived for his parents and he never lived for himself. He never could follow his heart. So friends, what we need to understand here is the parents and the teachers, first they need to heal themselves. They need to come out of all their wounds. They have to heal all the wounds. And they have to come out of all these fears so that we are not going to project our fears, our wounds onto our children, so that we can just be like a gardener. Like for example, if there is a gardener and there is a beautiful bud that is about to bloom, and the gardener is in such a hurry that he wants the bud to just become a flower, then he just tries to go and interfere with that bud. What happens? The petals will fall off. So what a gardener needs to do is, he just needs to give that water, that sufficient soil, or make sure that enough sunlight is there so that the bud can just blossom into a beautiful flower. So we don't need to do anything. We are here to just support. We are just here to nourish. We are just here to just help that beautiful bud to unfold and become a beautiful flower. Whether it is a jasmine or a lotus or a rose, it doesn't matter. But it has its own uniqueness and it spreads its own fragrance. And the whole garden becomes so beautiful. So I think that's what we all need to do. We have to just allow the child to be himself or herself and realizing their true potential so that they can just bring out that beautiful and fullest potential. Yeah, thank you.
And what is soul science teaching us? What is spiritual science? It's a vast subject, but I can throw some pointers. We realize through soul science, spiritual science, we are eternal specks of ECW, energy, consciousness, wisdom. Eternal varieties of consciousness. And we don't die. Our bodies are dead here, but our soul never dies. We are such vast eternal beings. Every child, student need to know that we are beyond birth and death. We are such universal energy, consciousness living here. And we are no victims. A victim always blames others. Oh, you are the reason for my failure. You are the reason for my unhappiness and misery. No one is responsible for your life, for your misery and happiness. So, we live here out of fear. We are trapped in this victim model. We always feel like a victim in life. But spiritual science makes us victors. We know that there are no victims. There are only victors. And we create our own realities. No one else is writing our script of life. No one else is. We need to have self-awareness to realize what is this indoctrination done. Already whatever the programming done here, we have to undo it. Unlearn what we have learned. We just adopted the old preconceived ideas. All the things are here mapped, programmed. We need to change it. We create our reality through our thoughts, emotions, feelings, behaviors, actions. We create our own reality. Every student need to know this. They own this power of creation. And the third thing is there are no failures. Otherwise, we are always living in this failure, success, failure, success. There are no failures. We can remove from our dictionaries. And actually, in the bigger scheme of things, in the holism, in the holistic perspective, there are only successes. Even if we may fail in one thing, but we learn so many things from our failures. We always succeed. Otherwise, children nowadays, they can't take their failures. They fail in the university or college, it's like a doomsday for them. They think about immediately suicides. And fourth thing is holistic view, holistic thinking. All these students, they are going to be the future leaders. They are going to be CEOs. They are going to be the champions, stalwarts. And without this holistic view, with narrow thinking, with competition, with the fear, what we do is we destroy our own planet Earth. Without this holistic thinking, our future generations will be completely devastated. We are going to sow the seeds for new generations. Thousands of years from now, we need to develop that holistic thinking. This decision that I'm going to take, what kind of consequences are going to be there in the next 100 years, thousands of years. We need to foresee that. Where are these ministers, governments, and all of them? They lack this holistic thinking. And the fifth point the soul science is offering is meal. Every student must have full meal. It's an acronym for M means mind mastery. Mastery of the mind. Soul science makes every student, every child, a master of their own mind. We're not slaves to the mind. We're not slaves to this linear thinking model or rational thinking model. And second, E means emotional mastery. We need to have emotional mastery. How to transmute all of fear-based emotions into love-based emotions. How to be compassionate. How to be kind. How to be generous. There's no generosity at all in this world. There's so much need for compassion. So much love, harmony is needed here. Still we are in the dark ages. Though we advance with sophisticated technology and all that, but we are still not grown inwardly. We're grown only outwardly. A means mastery of awareness. Be a master of your awareness. Know that how you are falling sometimes because you have cravings for appreciations, awards. You want people to always praise you, flatter you, put you on a high pedestal. Spiritual science is teaching us how to be simple human beings, how to be compassionate human beings, how to be kind, how to respect, how to live with harmony. It is not just only making money. Money is only one aspect of life, but life is much more vast, much more bigger than money. So L means life, mastery of life. Do you know what life is? We are hardly living because we are programmed beings. We are like robots. We run with the clocks. The time is there. Everything has to look at your watch. Oh, it's 10:15. Now my breakfast time. Oh, it's 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. It's my bedtime. You're not living your life. There's no awareness in you. You don't know what is life, what is science of living, art of living, we don't know. When we are reaching our deathbeds, we will really feel miserable. We don't know about how to die also gracefully. We don't know about what is life after death. Spiritual science teaches us about that. What is life and what is afterlife? We become masters of it. So friends, meditation is a powerful tool to study about spiritual sciences. What we are studying in universities, material sciences, physics, chemistry, botany, zoology, and mathematics, and all that. They're excellent, they're needed. But apart from that, spiritual sciences is much more important. And 5 recommendations that we want to make for all universities, colleges, and schools is, first is meditation is made compulsory. Meditation is nothing to do with the religion. It's nothing to do with Buddha or Krishna or Christ or any religious teacher. It is just a scientific process to master this monkey mind. To realize our true self is a way, is a method. Meditation. And second is every student, every child need to be experts in some music, some instrumental music, something about music or dance or painting. Because we hardly give ourselves the time to sing. We miss the melody in life. We don't know how to dance. We don't know how to sing our song of the heart. We don't know how to paint with colors. We lost that ability. It's very important that this is called holistic education. Below 8 years age, a child is given the tools of meditation, music, dance, poetry, and painting. And below 8 years age, they learn at least 5 languages. Because below 8 years age, that's the capacity of every child. They have all the neuronal cells which can absorb anything, the knowledge, very quickly. If you try to learn the languages after 20 years, it's completely difficult. But below 8 years, we are all capable of learning 5 languages. It's very important. And every child also need to be experts, masters in material sciences. They need to learn about biology, zoology, botany, sciences, physics, chemistry, oceanography, geology, all material sciences they need to study. Of course, when they go into university, they choose their research subjects, their favorite subjects. But this is the basic education. And they also learn about middle path in life, how to live life, how to dance in life, how to celebrate in life, how to live happily. They learn about it. So this is for every student, every child. So friends, it's the need of the hour, meditation and spiritual science. And without that, we see this, the old style of education system, it continues for next era, next thousands of years. And we will not progress anywhere. And it's very important now, every university can come forward to embrace this new way of looking at things. Very future-oriented education system. So we started this university called Life University, which is based on soul-based education. It's about spiritual sciences. You may find more information on this website, lifeuniversityglobal.org. It's going to be completely never heard, never existed before. And I'm not just replicating ancient Takshashila University, but it's completely a new university with new thinking, a new way of looking at things, at life. This is a university which embraces spirituality and materialism equally. Logic and intuition, and left brain and right brain. So friends, you are most welcome now to put forward your questions, interacting with us. So we still have some more time. Now it is open for any kind of comments, questions. Yes, please.
Firstly, I'd like to thank you for this very refreshing input that you've given all of us this morning. We understand it's the need of the hour, and we also understand that people are caught up in this cycle that needs to be broken. Because I think we're trying to deliver what every institution, I think, kind of changes and molds itself. I think partly because of the needs of what the parents require. There's something in why the institution has already been set up, but it also caters to what, society needs. And I think that's a very basic and preliminary ground that most institutions are set up and, probably are churning out people because of this very superfluous and, very basic kind of a necessity. I think it's very refreshing, to have heard you this morning. And I come from a similar background in schooling, which kind of just allowed students to flower in goodness. And I think that was a very simple philosophy. There was no compulsion to remain in a class. There was no compulsion to study anything. There was no evaluation per se, at least up to 8th grade. So there was no pressure, there was no fear. And I think almost everything that you talked about, doing the things that you really want to do. Because in life, those are the things that are going to matter to you, eventually. But to get a child to understand that and not be told in so many words, that is important that you do this, or you have to take art, or you have to take painting, and after this you do the languages, or you do something else. Just like, Dr. Lakshmi was saying, it's all there. And seamlessly, the child actually selects everything that is available, not everything, but what he wants or he thinks that he would require. And I think in the silence of becoming aware is something that one needs to be created, and it's a need of the hour. So I'm very happy to have heard that, you know, somebody's putting in so much effort to do this. I'd like to just share with the group a very simple practice that took place in my school. And I did not understand the value of it until much later in life. At the end of the day, I think the entire school, which was about 350, less than 400 children, and all the faculty, had this discipline of walking up this little hillock, and it was called Astachal. Astachal just meant sitting in silence when, you know, the sun would set. And as a child, when you go there, nobody talks of meditation. We don't know anything about mindfulness. You don't know anything. But you watch that everybody is silent. You know, there's a cool breeze. You're actually looking at the sunset, and you become one with what you're seeing. And slowly, I think it becomes a process that gets developed in every little child. I think the flaw in today's education system, and being an educationist, I can still say it is, that we're teaching children to keep doing something all the time. You know, which school or university can say, I have this time where you don't really need to do anything. Just do what you want. I don't think we're creating that space. So I think as educators, I think that's the premise on which we need to begin. You know, giving that space. And unless, see, like, you know, it's as simple as if somebody's talking all the time, you know, then when are we going to listen? Similarly, if we're doing something all the time, when are we going to quieten down? So I think it all begins with that, you know, it could be 15 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, really doesn't matter. But are we giving that space and time for being quiet? And I think the biggest answers in life come only when you're quiet. So all this learning that you're actually putting the rest of the day and you think the kids are learning can actually, because all learning is from within. You know, so it is very important that we give that time, space, and quiet, and the learning will just unfold. Thank you.
So, just one. So friends, let us all connect to our roots and let us all be rooted in our foundation, and our foundation is the spiritual science. And let us all come together to co-create a beautiful world, a better world, where each and every child can live with peace, happiness, and joy. Thank you, friends. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Newton and Dr. Lakshmi, for empowering the gardeners of the society with the benefits of meditation and spiritual science. May I now call upon Ms. Revati from Singhania School and Mrs. Roopkatha Sarkar from Principal Lamatnia for Girls, Kolkata, to please come up on the stage and do the honors of presenting a plaque to Dr. Newton and Dr. Lakshmi. Thank you so much.